Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 review series. And today I am going to be talking about Episode 9, Lowest Common Demoninator, which I have just finished watching. And this episode was pretty stupid and very, very weak. And it picks up where we left off from the end of episode 7, where the legends time jumped to try and get back to 2021, which is now, of course, 2022, after Bishop sacrificed himself. And the reason why I say this episode picks up where we left off from the end of episode 7 is because episode 8 was actually the point of view of the Android versions of the legends. So it was more about them. So it wasn't really the real legends. So this episode is actually officially the first time we have actually seen the real legends. And like I said, this episode was pretty silly and really, really weak. You know, there wasn't really much going on in this episode. So basically what's happened is Dr. Davis, with his time machine, tried to jump them back to now 2022, and they ended up in hell. And the idea of them ending up in hell sounded really good, you know, especially as we've seen that before. But it ended up being a reality show, which I don't like reality shows anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But you know, everybody just turned into reality parody versions of themselves. So you had Spooner running around butt naked, which, don't get me wrong, was not bad. But that's beside the point. We had Nate turn into an egotistical version of himself with a fake tan and constantly working out. And we had Zari 2.0, who was a bigger airhead than normal. And we had Birad, who just basically just stayed in his room sulking. And we had Astra, who was just rude, more than usual. Sarah turning herself into a real housewife, and Ava basically turning into her mum. And we have Gideon and Gary just getting off with each other. So, yeah, I didn't like this episode at all. There were a couple of moments that weren't bad, but by and large, I really didn't like this episode a lot because I've said this before, and I've said this time and time again over the past couple of seasons that I've reviewed. When Legends of Tomorrow is on its A game, and when they want to, they can deliver a really good episode, and they've shown that before. You know, we've seen that before. You know, they've always come through when they want to with a very good episode. I still stand by what I said, that the 100th episode where we saw all of the legends return, well, most of them anyway, I still think that was the best episode of season 7 by a long shot, because it paid homage to, you know, when the show started and everything that had happened, and it reminded me that the show has potential to still be good. But after watching this episode, when legends get on the silly path, they get really silly, and sometimes silly stuff can be good, but sometimes it's not good, and this was not good at all because, as I said, there was just nothing going for it. It was just basically making fun of a reality show, which is cool, but I really thought that because they're trapped in hell, I really thought that, yeah, this could be a very good episode, but yeah, didn't like this at all. But after Birad broke the spell, he got real, which was the way to break the spell, and it basically shut down the demon's reality show, and everybody was restored to normal. So that was probably the best scene of the entire episode, and it was cool to see Birad actually get a moment of his own, because I don't think Birad actually have had his own moment since he joined Legends of Tomorrow. I don't think he's ever had his own big moment. So if there was ever such a thing as a big moment, this would probably be it. And he got to finally ask the girl he really likes out, Astra, of all people, who, by the way, actually looked pretty good in this one. So he got to ask the girl out he really likes. So that worked out well. But Other than that, didn't like this episode at all. And I always try to find positives in episodes. Sometimes you might have a weak episode, but it might be something good that carries it, and you think, you know what, as bad as this episode was, at least you had this carried it and saved it. There was nothing in this episode that didn't save it. There was nothing that carried it to make me even remotely care one bit. It it was crap. I said it. I just didn't like this episode at all. So how we ended this episode was Gideon is back to normal because she kind of became a stuck up version of herself because she turned evil and got all the legends to argue with each other. By the way, she looked actually quite good with her hair tied back and the boots. But anyway, so she was restored back to normal, and she said that we're going to time jump to 1914 to try and stop World War One. So that sets up for episode 10. So I think that could be a very good episode. I hope. But that sets up for episode 10. They're going to World War One, 1914, to try and stop it. So could be a good episode. I'm hoping it is, and I really hope it makes up for this one because just didn't like this one. What would have made this more funny and more forgivable probably would never happen, but I would have loved this episode more if Tom Ellis was Lucifer in this episode with his own reality TV show, just making fun of reality TV. That probably would have saved this episode, but that was never ever going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, not much going for this. Didn't like it a lot. So we shall see how episode 10 will play out. But there's not really much else to go on with here, to be honest. But yeah, there were some fun bits, but I just didn't like it. Really didn't like this one. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. Was there anything that you liked about this episode? If there is, please let me know. You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 review series, where I am going to be talking about episode 10, which I'm really hoping is going to be a lot better than this one, but we shall see. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much love to all of you and always appreciated. Thanks for listening.